By any measure, The Fifth Element is wild. Written and directed by Luc Besson, Leon, the professional, Lucy, a man not known for cinematic restraint, the movie is a giddy sci-fi explosion, smashing together a rip-roaring story, fully committed performances from a standout cast, and enough visual flair to put most modern genre franchises to shame. It's a potent combination that makes the film gleefully entertaining, if undeniably chaotic. At its core, The Fifth Element is a surprisingly simple standalone story. A malevolent presence is heading for Earth on a mission to wipe out all life in the universe. Standing in its way are 4 stones, harnessing the power of earth, water, wind, and fire, and the eponymous fifth element, a supreme being engineered with the ability to emit the so-called light of creation, a superweapon of awesome power. In many ways, it is the ultimate distillation of the classic good versus evil story. However, while the inspiration may be straightforward, the storytelling is anything but. The Fifth Element is riotous fun, and extremely chaotic. In a more traditional expression of this classic setup, the Fifth Element, also known as Lilu, played by Milla Jovovich, would be the central character. However, in Besson's movie, she is just part of a bigger jigsaw. Other protagonists fighting to preserve life in the universe include the chiseled Corbin Dallas, Bruce Willis, whose blonde hair suggests a hybrid of John McClane and David Bowie, Vito Cornelius, a stuttering Ian Holm, and the effeminately alluring Ruby Rhod, Chris Tucker in top scenery-chewing form. Despite common goals, each of these characters has their own competing motivations, adding to the complexity. Pitted against the muddled forces of good are the even more haphazard antagonists. Beyond the mysterious entity, described by Cornelius as pure evil in some unhelpfully enigmatic exposition, The Fifth Element features a stellar turn from Gary Oldman as the megalomaniacal oligarch Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. He's assisted by a gang of dastardly aliens, known as Mangalores, although the erstwhile allies soon turn on each other in a bid to thwart the goodies. Soon, everything descends into chaos as various parties double-cross, trick, betray, and backstab each other as the story hops from Earth to outer space and beyond. The sheer pace of the narrative and the number of scene-stealing turns make The Fifth Element extremely watchable. While Willis anchors the movie with swaggering machismo, the real stars are Oldman, Tucker, and Jovovich. Oldman has arguably never been more evil, even his Dracula had a heart. Tucker expertly channels his particular fast-talking charisma, and Jovovich balances childlike charm and innocence, quiet menace, and emotional vulnerability. Like one of its interstellar spacecraft, the movie moves at light speed through these stories, barely pausing for breath. This is both a great strength and a weakness. The Fifth Element is messy, but it doesn't matter. Milla Jovovich as Lilu pointing a gun in The Fifth Element. Part of the problem with the packed story is that certain subplots and supporting characters have insufficient room to breathe. Lilu, who should really be the center of the film, is somewhat sidelined by Willis' more traditional action hero. Oldman's Zorg, who, along with his hilariously impractical signature ZF-1 weapon, elevates every scene he is in, is never given a motivation that stands up to scrutiny. Despite being one of the world's most influential men, he's decided what he really wants is to destroy all life. It's just one example of a Fifth Element supporting story that makes no sense. However, while the movie's problems are undeniable and unavoidable, they ultimately don't impact its entertainment value. The movie is sumptuous to look at, boasting costume designs by Jean-Paul Gaultier, bombastic in the best sense of the word, and original in a way that most modern franchises can only dream of. Compared to the increasingly dreary depictions of the galaxy in Star Wars, The Fifth Element is a loud and unapologetic breath of fresh air. If more movies had this bravery, sci-fi would likely be in a much stronger place.